What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so 2022 elections, midterm elections, are not completely over. We do know that the Republicans have taken a small lead in the House of Representatives. We will have a new Speaker of the House for the next session. The Democrats have retained their lead in the Senate. As a matter of fact, it looked like they expanded it a little bit, I think about one seat. So even without this race here in Georgia, the Democrats have secured a slim but important lead or margin in the United States Senate. But this is still important. This is still an important seat for the Democrats to pick up because it would give them just enough cushion to neutralize the power of conservative Democrats such as Joe Manchin and what was her name, Kathy Sinema of Arizona, who are conservative Democrats, especially Joe Manchin, who is pretty much a dino. But anyway, remember I told you that I thought the best case scenario for Herschel Walker to win that seat would be during the actual election. And I thought the runoffs, it would really help. It would probably be a more favorable environment, I guess I should say, for Raphael Warnock. I really thought that Herschel Walker was going to eke it out. I really thought he was going to eke it out. I thought that the black vote would be sort of anemic compared to 2018. And I thought Herschel Walker was going to be able to eke it out by 10, 15, maybe 20,000 votes. But that wasn't the case. Black voters came out. In particular, black men came out in record numbers and voted for the Democratic senatorial candidate and incumbent. So you could not put this on black people this time if Raphael Warnock lost. And he did not. They really came out and pushed up the margins in the Atlanta metro area. That was enough for Warnock to come out ahead on election day, but because he wasn't able to secure a 50% majority due to the presence of the independent libertarian candidate on the ticket, he took about 2% of the vote, so that prevented Warnock from getting 50%. We have this December 6th runoff. Now, Herschel Walker, the election now is pretty much just centered on Herschel Walker. If you notice, at least from what I could tell, I'm assuming Warnock is giving speeches, but the mainstream media, which tends to skew, 80 to 90% Democratic or culturally liberal, they're doing their best to portray Herschel Walker as a complete and total idiot. And Herschel Walker is doing them a favor because he's helping out. He is. Look, man, let's be honest, man. This guy is barely literate, okay? He cannot really put together 2 or 3 sentences in a row that make any goddamn sense. Does he have CTE? I don't know about that. But he does sound punch drunk. I'm looking at the latest polls, and this is what would concern you if you're a supporter of Herschel Walker. These latest polls show Warnock up something around 51-47, 52-47, 52-46. See, when you start getting over that 50% mark in polls, that's danger. That's a danger zone. Once you get over that 50% mark. Now, like I said, these are polls, you know, they're not votes. They're not official, but there is early voting going on right now, already into the December 6th vote. The fact that Raphael Warnock is now polling an advantage that's just outside of the margin of error, as opposed to during the latter stages of the general election campaign when they were both neck and neck for the most part, that's a bad sign for Herschel Walker. I really don't like either one of these guys, man. So if I keep saying Warnock and Walker, it's because I really don't see a difference between the two, other than I think that Warnock is the smarter of the two, but I still think he is nothing but a puppet. But anyway, another thing people got to look at is this seat now is not as strategically important to the GOP as it was before Election Day. You know, this was one of the vulnerable seats that they saw as a path to them taking over the Senate. That's not going to happen now. So strategically, this seat is not as important to Republicans. So there are some Republicans who are not motivated to come out to vote anymore, because even if Warnock loses, they can't overtake the Senate. And that was the main goal. That was the main goal. They would have voted for a decaying piece of fucking rhino dung if it could push them over the edge and win the Senate. But that's not going to happen. And I think a lot of people are really thinking to themselves, do we really want Herschel Walker as a United States Senator if it's not fitting a larger agenda? And I think that's part of the problem. Then you look at the fact that when it comes to the fundraising, Raphael Warnock has outraised Walker something like better than 3-1. That's alarming. And, I saw polling that showed that among 18 to 49-year-olds now, 18 to 49-year-olds, Herschel Walker is being outpolled by Raphael Warnock by almost 25 points. The only reason why it's close, if you want to call it relatively close, is because Herschel Walker is doing exceptionally well with older voters, all right, who like themselves a nice coon boy like Herschel Walker, nice coon boy. But, doesn't help when Herschel Walker say shit like young people don't matter because, they haven't done anything to have a voice in the change of America. So when you say shit like that, all you're doing is antagonizing younger voters more and more. So all of you younger people under the age of 40 who are supporting Herschel Walker for some odd reason, he doesn't even value you. He just said he don't think you're important. So, these are some of the factors. Plus, they're bringing out the heavy hitters. Barack Obama, I think Cam going to come down there. So their main thing is that they're going to try to maximize the black vote on December 6th or during early voting. That's happening right now. And Republicans have to hope on another big turnout on December 6th. I don't know if that's going to happen this time. I don't know. My guess, and I could be wrong, but I'm telling you what I think's going to happen. And he better hope, I'm going to tell you one thing, December the 6th, they better hope that the weather is good that day. Because we're heading into December. It's getting cold as a motherfucker. It doesn't snow often in Georgia, but hey, you guys do get cold, dreary, rainy days and shit. And occasionally you get sleet and shit. Look, I'm starting to think what's going to happen is Warnock's going to win by like 5 points. That's what I'm starting to think is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be that close in the runoff. I think it's going to be something like 51.5%, 46.5%. I'm starting to think something like that. 51.5%, 46.5%. And I think it's going to be a collapse in the Walker turnout. And, that's what I think is going to happen. That's what my mind is starting to get toward. Like I said, this is just guesses from observing these things for so long. But still, the fact that this man was not able to take out Herschel Walker the first time around just goes to show you how inept he is in his own home state. And look, I know some people saying it's the state of Georgia. He's a black. That has nothing to do with it. This is not 1977. This is not even 2008 Georgia. Georgia is a swing state now. And he was an incumbent senator running against an ignorant Africanist guerrillicus in Herschel Walker. He should be able to beat this guy, even in Georgia. He should have been able to beat him by 5 or 6 points, easy. But the fact that he, was trying to play it safe too much, in my opinion, not speaking up for the Democratic Party. I understand Joe Biden may not have been that popular, but it doesn't look good when you're running away from Joe Biden if you're supposed to be a proud member of the Democratic Party, and speak on your record and demonize your opponent. Because the one good thing I did see that Herschel Walker was doing that I think almost got him to the finish line was that he did a great job, and the Republicans do a good job of this anyway, of demonizing the Democrats. He was doing a great job of demonizing Raphael Warnock. But Raphael Warnock was trying to play the upper, he was trying to be above the fray and not do that and be positive. And fuck all of that, man. Roll your damn sleeves up and look, dig into this motherfucker, man. He's an idiot. I wish I was a campaign manager for some of these motherfuckers. You can't be nice. You gotta do everything you can. If you run up against a fat motherfucker, look, if you run up against a motherfucker that's 350 pounds, I would play that. I would show video of him walking slow as fuck, worse angles, from the ground up, looking all fat and sloppy, motherfucker ugly. I would show the footage that show all of his flaws, every hole in his face. Man, shit. Whatever it is you gotta do to win. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.